Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the KeithAndrewNetwork. Don't adjust those dials. You are watching the one and only KeithAndrewNetwork. Today, we have professional upcoming actress and voiceover professional. I won't say who it is, but you will see in the next 5 seconds, well, maybe 10 seconds, of the KeithAndrewNetwork who is today's guest. For people who want to know what is the KeithAndrewNetwork, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. Never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Prove to them you still amount to something. With that being said, it's episode 913. We are here with voiceover and upcoming actress. Won't say who, but we will be there in 3, 2, 1. Thank you and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Dina Monaco-Boland, and I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew. I think he is doing a fantastic job. I really had a good time on his show, and if you get the chance to check him out, I highly recommend it. It's, you know what, it's kind of groundbreaking. It's showing that people of all different kinds of abilities can do whatever they want. You should never let just because you have differing abilities stop you or inhibit you from doing something that you really want to do. So get out there and, start doing what you want to do now, because today's the day. So yeah, enjoy Keith's show.
First question I want to ask you is tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do now.
Oh boy, I have a varied background. I have always been an actress, but I didn't pursue it professionally until much later in life. I decided to pursue something that would be a little bit more conventional. I went into post-production, or actually production first. I was hired on right after college as a junior teleproduction tech at a company that produced educational videos, and worked my way up, became a producer director there. And I did enjoy it, but wasn't really kind of filling my need. While I was there, I was doing community theater and things like that. I moved on from there to working in post-production at a more, although it was professional where I was at, something a little bit more recognizable, more broadcast TV type of setting, more things that you would recognize, everybody would see on television. Worked on shows like The Oprah Winfrey Show, worked on Siskel and Ebert, editing things like that. From there, freelanced for a little bit. I also work in the fitness industry as a ACE certified group fitness instructor. Finally took the plunge to being the actress that I always wanted to be when my husband kind of got tired of me complaining about, I really want to be doing this. I really wanted to be doing this. And he signed me up for one of the pay-to-play sites that was around at the time, is still around to this very day. And he kind of cobbled together a little studio for me and said, signed you up for this, go do it. And from then I just did. And I kind of grew from there. And in the last, I'd say maybe 6 years maybe or so, I kind of started to delve into the on-camera world, and I've been loving that a lot because that's what I really wanted to do as well, and just kind of been working there as well.
No, absolutely. And the other easy questions while we're on the icebreakers. So what did you major in? And were you a study nerd or party animal?
Oh, I majored in communications with an emphasis in radio, television, and film. And I was definitely a study nerd. I was not a party animal by any stretch of the imagination. I needed to study. I'm not one of those people that can get away with not studying. My husband, on the other hand, that's where we met, actually, was in college. He was my next door neighbor in the dorms. And he was one of those people that never studied and got phenomenal grades. I wasn't that person, no. It was not easy for me.
I want to ask you this one, and you can always tell me to shut up if you want, but I'm just going to, the point of the show, have fun with it. It's not an ordinary show. But how do you feel about people having high school sweethearts? Did you ever have one?
Oh, I wanted one.
Me too.
I wanted one so bad, but no, I didn't have one.
For me,
nobody wanted to date me. I had to beg a guy in my drama club to take me to prom, or else I would have missed my prom. And he was nice enough. Hi, Kevin, if you're out there watching this, Kevin Burkhart. I'm friends with him to this day. Was sweet enough to go with me to my senior prom. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I never went because we couldn't find anyone. You would think of a school of, I think it was a high number, like 12,000 people, 6,
Wow.
12. You would find someone, even if they're ugly, you would find someone. And there was absolutely nothing. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm shit out of luck. Out of 12,000 people, there's a line from, and you could actually relate to this. You probably think it's funny. From Seinfeld, where it's, well, what's the point of dating? When I like them, they don't like me, and if they like me, I don't like them. So what's the point?
Oh man, no, I had nobody liking me. I didn't even anybody liking me for me not to like back. So no. Well, you had a big high school, man. Mine wasn't that big. I think we had, oh gosh, how many did we have? Like maybe 2,000 in our whole school, and about, I want to say, maybe 680 in our graduating class. So mine wasn't as big as yours, but still, yeah, nothing.
Well, you're happy now because you found the right one. I'm always looking.
Oh, well, hopefully you'll find someone.
That's true. And now the next question I want to ask you is going to your acting. What makes you different from the competition?
Boy, oh gosh, there's so many good actresses out there. I guess what makes me different is, I guess it is just that I come from a genuine place of, wanting to be collaborative. And I guess that there's other actresses that do too, so that doesn't make me different. I always am who I am. That would make me different. I always am who I am no matter where I am. I'm not afraid to be myself. So sometimes that's off-putting for people. And I just can't help but be that person, be who I am. And so, like I said, sometimes it's off-putting for people. I don't know. But I'd rather be genuine and with all my warts and wrinkles and flaws than not be genuine.
That's true. Now, actually going back to the sports question that I left out is, did you do any sports? And did you actually, this is actually a two-part question. I was going to save this one for later because you also are a fitness instructor. But so let me ask this in two ways. Did you do any sports, number one? And did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids? And because you're a fitness instructor, did you ever make people do a pyramid?
Oh. Okay. Let me take these one at a time. I did do a sport in high school but I had no business doing it. I tried out for the tennis team when I was a freshman. Having never played tennis, don't ask me why I thought that I could try out for the team and just, play. What was I thinking? I don't know. But I did. And the tennis coach felt so sorry for me because I was a hot mess. I was awful. I was just awful, but she felt so sorry for me that she let me be the manager for 4 years. And I actually lettered in tennis. I actually got, a junior varsity and a varsity letter for managing the tennis team for 4 years at my high school. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but and I did have a good time doing it. I mean, I did make a lot of good friends, but yeah, I have zero hand-eye coordination. I don't really have very much, which I know you're going to say, wait a minute, you're a group fitness instructor and you have no coordination. Yeah, I have no coordination, but for some reason, when it comes to fitness, I do. There's a little disconnect there. I can choreograph things. I teach a variety of different kinds of formats of classes. From spin to step to Zumba. Yeah, I can do Zumba. To strength training classes with free weights, all that kind of stuff. TRX, everything that you can think of. And I am coordinated with that, but yeah, sports, no. As far as the human pyramid, as a kid, goofing off with my friends in the backyard, we've done it, like with just a couple kids in the backyard, but nothing ever really big or anything like that. Never made anybody else do a human pyramid, no.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
What? What did you say? I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
Oh.
Always wanted to do one, never found the right group of people.
Well, then you got to get out there. You got to find somebody that wants to do that with. I don't know why you want to do that. Yeah, you always end up collapsing and you're going to be under a ton of bodies, and that's never any fun.
It's true. I got this circus book when I was younger. I think it was from my mom's parents, my dad's parents, or even my parents got it for me. And I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. And the thing that jumped out at me was like, on the first or second page, it's like 4 guys and the rest are girls. I'm like, that looked really interesting. But, I say, I wish I had that book, but 30 years ago, I'm 34 right now, so who knows how, if you don't take care of something, it will fall through crap. What I should have done was laminate it. But things, now when you were 4, you remember certain things.
Yeah.
But the other question I want to ask you is, what is the biggest change you want to make in your acting career and voiceover career?
Well, I guess in my acting career, I would definitely like to be doing much more on camera work. I would love to be, I'd love to be a series regular on a television show. I'd love to be doing movies. I'm just not there yet. I hope to be there one day. My voiceover career, I'd love to be in a syndicated animated series. I just recently booked a pilot that I have a role in that I really love. The pilot hasn't been completed yet. Right now, they're completing the animation part of it. They recorded all the voices, so it takes time to get all of that stuff done. But that was pretty exciting to at least book the pilot. So that was exciting. So we'll see where that goes. You never know.
No, absolutely. And now, what are some of your career highlights?
Well, I've done some video games. I was the voice for the arcade game Star Trek Battlefield. I'm the voice of the computer in that game, so you hear me throughout that game as it goes through. I also am the voice of Betty Rubble in the Flintstone slot machine. So if you're ever in Vegas and you're playing the Flintstone slot machine and you hear Betty Rubble, that's me. Which that was kind of cool because I had to be approved by Warner Brothers to be that voice. So there was a huge, like nearly 2-year approval process for that. So that was like a little feather in my cap. So that was exciting to go through that. Other than that, I think one of the biggest things was landing my very first agent. That was exciting for me. To be able to, make that step because, like I said earlier, I got into this, very, by industry standards, much later in life than most people. Most people are doing this, when they're in their teens, early 20s, and they think by the time they're in their 30s, they're over the hill. I didn't start till I was in my late 40s, and I'm nearly 60 now. So I turned 60 this year. So yeah.
No, you look good.
Thank you.
If you didn't say anything, I would say you're at least 40, mid 40.
Oh, that's so kind of you. That's very nice. But yeah, no, nowhere near that.
No, that's, it's funny, to be honest. If you look at my dad, you would think he's like in his 50s, early 60s. It's all how you take care of yourself. And if you can hide it really good, stay away from stress and stay away from stupid people, and you look good.
I can't say that I've stayed away from stupid people, and I might be one of the stupid people, so maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I think I fall into that category too. But the next one I want to ask you is, what is your claim to fame?
My claim to fame? I have no claim to fame. I
well,
wish
you
I
did
did.
mention Betty Rubble. Actually, that's what I want to ask you. Every time someone does the thing and Betty comes up, do you like that $1 for me? $1 for me? Every time you hear your voice, isn't that like kind of like $1 for me?
Oh, I
but
wish.
You don't get anything?
No, I was paid for that years ago. It's done. That's it. It would be nice. But no.
But one of your claims of fame says you were Betty Rubble.
Yeah. And that was very exciting. And that was really fun to work on because, I watched, the Flintstones as a kid. So the fun part for me is that in that video game, they do play excerpts from the Flintstones throughout the game. And all of that stuff was revoiced by us, voice actors. So I got to voice those iconic scenes for this, slot machine game. Did I say video game? I didn't mean to. I meant to say slot machine. So, to be able to voice, the iconic scene of when Wilma and Betty dress up as men to sneak into the Water Buffalo Lodge. I mean, I remember watching that as a kid, and now here I am voicing that. It was really surreal and cool, and I just had such a blast with that. I really did. So, yeah.
Did he ever do any movies?
No. Oh, yes. What am I saying? I just did my first movie this summer. It's not out yet. It's scheduled to come out this year. I did a supporting role in the movie Exile. So yeah, I just booked my first movie role this past summer. So that was exciting. Yeah.
Is that going to be on Amazon, Netflix?
I have no idea because they're still editing it. So I have no idea what platform that's going to be shown on. I have no idea.
Now, going back to your voiceovers, what are some of the roles you would have done? Or actually, let me rephrase that. What are some of the roles you would like to have?
What are some of the roles I'm sorry, I had a hard time
That was
hearing
my
you.
fault. I messed it up.
No, that's a,
What are some of the roles you would like to have?
oh, you you mean like specific characters, or do you mean like what kind of,
No, I
like
mean,
where would
if
I?
you're doing voiceovers, what roles would you prefer to have?
Well, I really like working in animation and, coming up with different kinds of voices and playing around with that. That's a lot of fun. Or working in games, that's a lot of fun too. Again, that's character work, and I really enjoy that. That's a lot more fun. But the reality of working in voiceover is you do a lot of um, corporate narration a lot of times, a lot of stuff that isn't very, fun and glitzy and, high profile. Because a lot of people will say, well, have I heard you in a lot of stuff? No, unless you're watching, a video on insurance benefits, or, something like that. There are, some commercials you might have heard me on. It depends on what market you're in. I do some promo work here in Chicago. You might hear me on the NBC affiliate here in Chicago. I do some promo work here, for, different promos. It might be for their weather app. It might be for their 10 o'clock news. It might be, whatever they have me do. But yeah, but like I said, the animation, the character work, that's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Now, the next one I want to talk to you about disabilities. Besides me, have you worked with people with disabilities? And for people who want to follow in your footsteps, how would they go about it? But before you answer that, the question I want to ask you also is, what's difficult about acting for you?
Oh, well, okay. What question do you want me to answer first?
I asked you this one first. So what's difficult about acting for you? And then that ties in with disabilities.
Okay, for me, there's a couple things that are difficult for me with regard to acting. I have a couple of challenges. Some of them are environmental, like when I'm working from home, because I have my own, studio, which right now, this is the office space of my studio. I have a booth that I work in, which, is a very good booth, but nothing is completely soundproof. And I also foster puppies, and I do have a litter right now. And when they make noise and they bark, right now they're very quiet, thank goodness, but they might not be in 2 seconds. I don't know. That's very distracting, and that's a challenge. I also sometimes am not very fluent. I have never been diagnosed. This is really funny, not really funny. I don't mean to say funny, haha, funny, but something that a lot of people don't know about me. But sometimes I have difficulty with reading in that, so sometimes it's difficult for me. Like when I'm reading scripts, I might reverse words or things like that. I was never diagnosed as dyslexic or anything like that, but I do sometimes do stuff like that. As a matter of fact, with my entrance exams for high school, they used this term at the time because this was the term that was used. They had told my mom that I was borderline, and they used the R word, retarded, because that was the term that was used. I have my daughter is a teacher in special ed. She hates when I use that word. My husband actually worked in SPED also for a time when he was first a teacher. So I know that that's not a term that's used now, but that was a term that was used when I was going into school. So I did have to take some remedial classes when I entered high school to get into high school. I ended up graduating National Honor Society, so some things are harder for me that takes me longer. And that's just the way that it is. So I guess that I've had to figure out workarounds for myself. I couldn't tell you what they are. It just is what I had to figure out my own self, because I didn't have what they have now in place, if that makes any sense. Because now in schools they have, more one-on-one help, and things are, more, oh gosh, what is even the word? I can't even think of the word for it, but more attention is brought to it, and there's more resources, I guess you could say. Like, my daughter works, she's in a self-contained classroom. So there's more, attention, and more, like I said, just resources. So there just wasn't that when I was in school. So I just kind of had to figure it out. And, it's kind of like it was kind of like a little secret, people don't know that. So about me. So I kind of kept it a secret. I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And I can relate. I mean, there's a video. If everyone goes to my my channel, website, KeithAndrewNetWork.com, you get to see my very first interview on Manhattan Neighborhood of Broadcasting. And I said, yeah, I'm not labeled, but I fall under the spectrum of being retarded, because I read and learn at a 5th grade to high school level. When I read scripts, and as you know, I hesitated. I hesitate more than other people. So for an example, if I'm reading a line that says, what's your biggest failure? How do you handle stress and pressure? What's difficult for you? If it's short and simple, I can say it. If you give me something like a long line, then it's got to be, I don't know what this word is. Then my disability shows more. Like in the beginning, I have a different way of starting the show. Like I am showing in the TV box, and then it's like, okay, commercial break, and our guests will introduce themselves, because I'm really bad at pronouncing people's names. So I'm like, I'm going to make it as simple for myself, as long as it looks professional. Make it as simple as possible and put a different spin on it. I don't want to be a cookie cutter, copy and paste like every other damn late night show. I want it to make it look different, but interesting and eye-catching. And it's just, you want it to be different, but the biggest thing is you have to connect to every single person out there, but you have to feel comfortable at what you're doing at the same time. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I do have a couple questions for you off the air. Wrapping up, the last question I want to ask you, well, last two actually, is the first one is, are you on social media, and where are you heading to next?
I'm kind of on social media. I need to be on there better, but I mean, I have a Facebook page, but I don't really use it like professionally, like I should. I did like sign up for Instagram, but I have never posted anything because I don't know how to use it yet. I need help. So I've been hoping that like one of my kids would help me, but
I can do
they
it.
haven't yet. Thank you. And same thing with Twitter. I've done a couple tweets on Twitter, but again, I haven't really followed it. I haven't really kept up with it. Yeah, I don't know really. Yeah, so I'm kind of there, but not really, not like I should be. And as far as what's up next for me, in the immediate, not much of anything. I have a big corporate project, voiceover project that's going to be coming up soon. I'm just waiting for the script to be finished writing, and let me back up. Let me rewind. I need it to be finished. It needs to be. How do I even say this? I need it to be finished. It needs to be finished. Written.
The right
I think
way.
you know what I'm trying to say. Boy,
Yeah.
I can't even say that right.
But I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor. Actually, I want to do something really special. But for you, I like you, so I give you an extra 2 minutes. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people?
Yeah, I absolutely would recommend it to other people. I was flattered. Of course, why wouldn't I be flattered? Yeah, and I absolutely would recommend it to other people, sure. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. For our fans and viewers, make sure, look at the bottom of the screen. Well, not the bottom of the screen. Look at the screen where it says 1 to 9. You get to see all 9 seasons of the Keith Andrew Network. Of course, this is season 10. Now we're working on the top part. But the reason I say look at the bottom of 1 to 9, this is episode 913. And yes, number 10 means that's the season, but we are still over the 900 mark. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit that notification. You'll be notified our brand new interviews are up and ready. We're available on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all social media. Use hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork. If you're on LinkedIn, make sure, and this is something I want to ask you too, make sure to follow the hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork. Share with everyone you know. Our goal is 100 and more views and comments. I would love to interact with you. Our guests would love to interact with you. Her Instagram will be on the bottom of the screen and her bio. So make sure to book my guest. She's fantastic. May and be on the show. I can't wait to part 2. But wrapping up, until we meet again, catch you later. Thank you and have a good night.